someone made the comment, which I really find to be true, is that until your world falls apart in some way or other, and you have at least a glimpse of nothing working to get it back together, and you have that glimpse because the capacity to get it back together is really habitual and we are really pros at getting it back together. And so that's the habit I was talking about last night. And you can understand why at a time like that, when the ground has completely fallen out, and going to a movie, smoking a cigarette, eating, drinking, or taking drugs, overworking, or whatever your exit is, isn't touching the extent of the pain that you're feeling. And pain is hardly even the word. It's like you find yourself in a unfixable spot. Now, when that happened to me years ago, was my introduction actually to Buddhism, because you start looking for answers. But I didn't know at the time to call it depression. So interesting, because somehow it wasn't talked about that much, and also there weren't antidepressants. So basically I had no exit, and but I was looking for one, that's for sure. And I think that's a natural thing. You start looking for answers, but none of the usual things work. And so you start looking for spiritual answers. But you're still hoping that the spiritual answer will get the bubble back for you. And you can't help it. You absolutely cannot help that. In fact, there's some real sanity in that, except at the same time you already have seen something. And that is that the kind of hollowness or insubstantialness of the props that hold our life together. And you realize, whether you can articulate it to yourself or not, you realize that you impute comfort on everything. Good cup of coffee. Good night's sleep. Someone loves me. It's just my cat, but nevertheless. But basically we distract ourselves from some kind of fundamental, the Buddha taught, fundamental groundlessness. And this fundamental groundlessness, according to the Buddha's teaching, is when you can rest there fully, that's called enlightenment. Because why? Because nothing is a threat. So the question was asked by a very honest person who was sitting over here last night, the very first question, which of course is everyone's question. Why would we do this if it means opening to pain? Well, certainly it's counterintuitive and totally unhabitual, and it is not ever the knee-jerk reaction. And in fact, you would just never do it. And this is what I think is true. If there wasn't some pain in your life, you would just never do it. So that to the degree that the old ways aren't working, to that degree you start to look for answers of a different kind, right? And so actually, I don't think anyone whose life is really together and completely cozy and has never had the ground fall out, except maybe in the most minor of ways, would be even slightly interested in this path. You might be interested because you have stress in your life, and you're looking for a way to reduce the stress, but really you're looking for something to keep the bubble together. And I don't mean to be criticizing anyone for that. That is sort of natural. We equate the bubble of false security with comfort and with security and with certainty and some sort of sense that your stomach can relax, your jaw can relax, you know. And we would like a life where we always were falling in love, you know, like you were always in love with somebody and everything. And what I'm talking about is a life of like open-hearted, where you're feeling your best.